I need you to put your hands together and help me welcome to the stage Alicia Conlin-Hurd.
That was a good welcome, thank you. I'll carry on. Okay, who here wants to double their business in the next 12 months? Yeah, all right, this is gonna be a good talk, or at least make more money, right? So in today's talk, what I wanna be able to give to you is the key that I figured that out in my business and for all of my clients. There's one key we're gonna work on together. It's how I went from $400 clients to $240,000 clients. Clients paying me 10K, 20K, 30K a month. It's how I attract my dream clients, charge what I'm worth, double my business, all while I travel the world full-time with my partner and run a 7-figure agency. So you cool if I share that key with you today? Yeah, that would be awkward if you said no, so that's good. Okay, before I get into that, very quickly, you probably know my name by now, Alicia Conlin-Hurd, and I run the Traffic and Funnel Agency Persuasion Experience. So we build predictable, consistent, scalable lead machines for service-based businesses, typically B2B or B2C, who want to double their business. But my business, unfortunately, was not all sunshine and rainbows and dollary dues, the official Australian currency, in the bank, right? In January 2022, my partner and I, we stopped side hustling with our nice 6-figure jobs and we took Persuasion Experience full-time. We were business owners, not really. So I thought I would share some traumas because trauma bonds. And in 2022, our first year of business, we had tight-ass clients. We had really inconsistent leads. Because we had inconsistent leads, we would say yes to anything. Because we would say yes to anything, we were doing heaps of custom projects. When somebody would ask me, what do you do and who do you do it for, I would go into like a 40-minute word vomit where I didn't even know what I was talking about. And then because I didn't really know what I was doing, we had this shiny object syndrome where we just kept on starting and doing different stuff all the time. But in 2023, the middle of 2023, something changed for us and our business went from a couple of freelancers sticky taped together to actually working and making money, which was nice. And that transformation that we had is that we started to get consistent, qualified leads. We increased our prices. We had a simple fulfillment system, so we could bring a team in to run the system. We were getting amazing results and case studies and consistent 6-figure months. So what changed? Well, we stopped doing a lot of dumb shit, but there was one thing that really unlocked it for us, the key that unlocked this transformation in our business. And this is what changed. We finally figured out the right market to serve. We finally figured out the right market to serve. And his name is Tony. And I love Tony. We didn't figure this out straight away. We started out as e-com email experts, $2 if you can figure out what we sold. And then we did a lot of info products and SaaS. Then we started an agency coaching program to coach agency owners. And then we figured out who Tony was. Once we figured out who Tony was, do you know what we did? We built the systems to clone more Tonys, the marketing machines to find and to clone more Tonys, and that's what helped us to double our business. So we figured out what was Tony's DNA, right, this DNA blueprint, and then I could create the content machine to clone more Tonys, the products to clone more Tonys, the offers and the funnels to clone more Tonys, and the sales scripts and the proposals. So this is it. This is the big secret, right? Number one, it's the right market selection. So you want to choose the best customers. Number two is you want to know their DNA, so their motivations, their language, and why they buy. Then you want to create your cloning machines, the marketing and sales systems to bring in more Tonys. So today, team, you might see that really nice handout that I made myself on your table. We're going to be filling in that together, right? That is the key. We're going to uncover who your Tony is, why they buy from you, so we can clone more of them. We're going to build the foundations of your marketing machines today. And after doing heaps of dumb stuff in my business, but also seeing under the hood of thousands of other businesses, I figured this out, and this is why this is really important today. Marketing is just inputs and outputs, right? So this is the blueprint of all of your marketing machines. You can't see my screen, it's up here. Okay, so there's research. We figured out who our customers are. We look at competitor research. That moves into strategy. That's your funnel map, your messaging, your offers. That's a strategy. Then you do execution. Then you make your ads. Then you make your landing pages. Then you make your content. But most people jump into execution, right? Then you ship, you analyze, you adjust, and if your marketing no worky, it's because you haven't done one of those properly. So what happens if you put garbage into the machine? What happens if you put garbage into your cloning machine? Well, garbage in, garbage out, right? If you don't know who your customer is, your cloning machines aren't going to work. If you put the wrong DNA in, you're not going to get Dream Client Tony, you're going to get Mutant Johns. Who's dealt with Mutant John clients? Yeah, trauma. No one wants those. Now, another thing I think you might be thinking is, target market, avatar is so basic. This is boring. Yeah, it is. It's really basic, but no one does it. Doesn't matter if I'm working with a billion-dollar brand like Linktree or a brand new startup, nobody's taking the time to figure this out. And if you don't take the time to figure this out, if you get that wrong, your ads don't work, your funnels don't work, your content doesn't work, and you cannot scale. But when you get it right, cheaper leads, winning ads, higher conversions, you can clone more Tonys. So yeah, like, am I kind of a big deal? I don't know, I'm like the first speaker, we're gonna do the target market together. I'm not really a big deal, but your target market is. We need to uncover who they are and how they think. So in today's session, we're gonna uncover who your Tony is, we're gonna create your avatar DNA, I'm gonna show you my rapid research system, and then do you guys like free stuff? Yeah. Okay. If I ask a question, it's good to yell back into something at me. Cool, I'll give you some free shit. All right, and that's because I want you guys to be able to attract your dream clients, charge what you're worth, and double your business just like we did. Now, I flew from Australia. Don't know if you're picking up on the swearing and the accent, but I flew from Australia today to show you guys that, and that's all I want from you guys is good energy. You guys are doing it, but a commitment to take action. You do not have an information problem. You have an implementation problem. So just find one thing from today's presentation, fill in those sheets, and make sure you take action. Deal? Yeah. Yes, okay, cool. So with your avatar, there's 4 core things we're gonna work on today. Who is your Tony? Where are they in their journey? What's their dream outcome? And what's stopping them from giving you money? That's annoying, we wanna remove that. Let's start with who they are. Who is your Tony? Let's have a think. Do you know what my mum really loves? UK crime shows, especially the ones with David Tennant in them. Yummy. So, we've all seen them, right? And a crime happens, and then it starts with some bad guy. They have a vague idea of who committed the crime. Then they get more clues, more data, more research, and the profile transforms. The more detailed the profile is, the more likely they are to catch the bad guy, right? And the same applies for you and your business. But you don't want bad guys, you want to catch good guys with money, you want to catch dream client Tonys. So right now, team, what I want you to do is think of your dream customer. Really imagine them in your head, right? Who are they? What is their name? I don't want you to say anyone with a pulse or with a quid in their back pocket or businesses in London or women 35 plus, because that's not a person, that's just information. So who are they? And I don't want you to think about your mutant Johns or those energy-sucking, time-wasting vampires we don't want more of. I want you to think of who you want to attract more of. Go with your best client. You can start to write the name down. One other thing I want you to remember is you're not for everyone. So in our business, when we were for everybody, we weren't making much money and it was very frustrating. When we actually figured out who we were for, when we became somebody to someone, we decommoditized our business and we became an authority. So you don't want to have that scarcity mindset. Think about this. Would you prefer to work with the LinkedIn growth expert or the LinkedIn coach who helps startup SaaS entrepreneurs hit their first 10K followers? Say that fast. Would you prefer to work with the digital marketing agency or the e-commerce growth agency who helps female-led brands scale to their first 7 figures? Yeah, who would you prefer to work with? Now, remembering inputs and outputs. At every stage of your marketing, this is why we're figuring out who it is, we want to explicitly tell them who you are for. We do this at the ad level, right? We want to call them out. It's like a dog whistle in your ads to make them pay attention to you. Then we also want to show them on the landing pages. Our landing page is just our digital appointment setter or our digital salesperson, right? So we will overtly tell them if we are for them. We figure out the core archetypes. Then you also want to show it in your lead generation. So we have it in our calendar. And I have all those questions, and anyone who even smells a little bit like a mutant John, I cancel. I've had too much trauma, and they do not get through to a call. And then even in our proposal and in our client's marketing, we'll explicitly say who we're not for. Because that's the point of your marketing, is to bring the right people to you and to repel the wrong people away. We can't be scared to knock people back, right? So here's your first action item. On that sheet that you've got, I want you to write down the name, give them a name, who is the best client, and you can start to write down a few of your notes. Of course, we've only got 30 minutes. You're not going to be able to do all of this now. But to give you a second to write this down, I'll tell you about Tony. So Tony, I like Tony because he understands marketing, and I don't have to convince him that he needs digital marketing. That's annoying. His business is doing $1 million to $10 million, so I know he has something working. He wants qualified leads, and he has ambitious growth goals to double the business. That's why I want to work with Tony. So now we know who they are. Let's figure out where they are now. What situation are you going to save them from? So here's a quote we've probably all heard, right? Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And when you create marketing, you want to have marketing that says, I understand you and I understand your pain. When you create marketing, you want it to feel like you ripped a page out of their journal. And they're like, holy crap, can you read my mind? Because you want to be able to articulate their problem even better than they can themselves. Okay, so let's look at this when it comes inputs and outputs. You want to know the crappy before state and the problem that you solve. So here's an example of a client that we did in the home building space. So you're here right now because you want to remodel, redesign, or maybe even totally reimagine your Dallas home. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get into the crappy before state. You've heard the stories about projects going over on time, blowing their budgets, driving homeowners crazy with poor communication, shoddy workmanship, financial pressure, and worse. When the dream client reads that, do you know what they're going to think? Yes, that's for me. This is for me, it's talking to me. And that's what you need your marketing to do. Once you know the before state, that crappy before state, and you know those big pain points, then you can come up with ad angles, pain angles to put into your copy as well. And then you can come up with content ideas. So a lot of our best content ideas are just from writing down the problems that we hear our target market have. What we're really trying to accomplish here by understanding this is showing them that we understand them, because the business who can articulate the problem the best is automatically assumed to have the solution. And if you just want to look at a different industry like politics, it's not the smartest person or the person with the best policies who wins, it's the one who can say what's on the mind of the people better than they can articulate themselves. And that's the power of figuring this out. So team, your action item is this: to write down the crappy before state, just start to write down your ideas, and the BAP you solve, which stands for big ass problem. And there's one big ass problem, so figure out what it is. While you're writing down your notes, for PX and Tony, his crappy before state is that he can't scale, and what got him to where he is now will not get him to the next level. He's frustrated, he feels very stuck, right? He's getting inconsistent leads, so he can't hire people or invest in any money, and he feels like he's better than his competitors, and he's frustrated though because his messaging and his offers don't come across that way. And then for Tony, he's read all of Alex Hormozy like 100 times and Dan Kennedy, but he has no time to set it up himself. He's looking for the right who to plug into the business. So that's what we know about Tony. The next thing for where is you need to understand where they are in the buyer's journey. What's the conversation going on in their brains at that time, right? So this is also Eugene Schwartz's 5 stages of awareness, but I got rid of one of the stages, so I'll just call it the buyer's journey. Basically, no one wakes up one day and wants what you're selling, yeah? They go through this whether you hold their hand or not. So they're either problem aware, they might sense there is a problem, but don't know there is a solution, all the way up to most aware, where it's decision time and they're looking for the best offers. Okay, inputs and outputs. What does this look like in practice, right? When we have this in the avatar, how do we bring it to life? So here is one of our hair transplant clients. They were working with another agency, and that agency on Meta Ads was going after product or most aware. So they were going out to Meta Ads and saying, hey, nice to meet you. It costs $14,000 and I'll cut open your head and give you a hair transplant. It didn't work. They were getting very low quality leads. And so what we did was like, okay, well, what is actually the bullseye? What's the conversation going on in their head? Where are they in the buyer's journey? And we created our campaign to be more solution aware, because that's where they were on that temperature of traffic, right? So you can see here at the ad level, in terms of the conversation we're entering, can you really, it's very small, can you really reclaim their natural, can men really reclaim their natural looking hairlines? If you're balding, that's what you want to know. Natural looking hair. We did the research, we did the surveys, we figured out the language of their customers. Then in the offer, instead of saying, hey, come and buy a hair transplant, we made the offer this. Apply for your Save My Hair consultation and treatment plan with Melbourne's top hair restoration doctor and restore a fuller, natural-looking head of hair. We added the dream outcome to it as well. So we're showing it's not hair transplants or medication or laser. That's not what they're buying. They're buying the dream outcome. We're going to talk about that in a second. So your action item team is to tick which stage of the buyer's journey you feel like your market is in. While you're writing that down, I'll tell you more about Tony. So for Tony, I don't want to talk to Tony unless he is product or most aware. He understands the value of funnels, because we do ads as well, but like our lead machine funnel is the main vibe people come from. And he wants an agency and he wants that installed. Now our content warms people up. So before I speak to leads, because I do all of our sales, they've usually watched like 4 to 5 different YouTube videos. So they come with full predetermination to want to work with us. They're already educated, and in the form, they're like, hey, I want the lead machine system, I want an offer, etc. So write that down. Okay. Now we know who they are. Now we know where they are. Let's talk about what's the transformation you give them. I heard John saying this before, right? What is the dream outcome you provide? Because we've probably all heard this, but you don't sell a product or a service, you sell entry into a desired after state. So they're at a crappy before state, they have a dream outcome, you are just a vehicle to get them there. They don't particularly care about you or your vehicle, sorry to tell you that. So what we want to do in our marketing is say, I understand where you are now, I understand where you want to go, here's how I get you there. That's what we want to say in our marketing. To figure this out, you need to understand this number one question. This is the question I want you to think about. What do you really sell? Yeah? What do you really sell? And you probably heard people talk about the transformation that they have with you. You might have a bit of an idea. We want to be clear about that in our marketing and sales process. So remembering inputs and outputs, here's an example of one of our coaching clients. And once we did the research and we surveyed his past clients, we found out they don't want coaching. No one really wants coaching, do they? No one wants to pay for coaching ever. But they wanted focus and clarity. They wanted to unlock more time, grow the business, and increase profits. That's what we were really selling. Same for this client, Build TX, in the home remodeling and additions niche. What we found was people don't want a home builder. What they wanted was they wanted to stay in their homes and create the home of their dreams. With this client as well, what we noticed was in the industry, there was a lot of male-dominated offers, like just really boring, like male-dominated companies. This is a female-led company. And all of these other companies, despite all the horror stories around this market, they were all pushing their offers to get a free quote. The problem was, when we figured out the stage of the buyer's journey, all of these women, because they were the decision makers, they had their Pinterest board, they had their Instagram, like mood board, but they didn't know what they wanted. So the offer didn't make sense to get a quote, right? Instead, what we created was apply for your champagne design consultation with Dallas's top remodeling and additions firm. See how that's different? Because it entered the conversation. And when you create an offer is just meant to be the next micro step. someone's going to have with you. When we create marketing, we're not trying to do a big knockout punch and then drag them back to our cave and make them buy stuff from us. We want to do little micro yeses throughout the journey of the funnel. Cool, we even put this in our proposal. So all along the way, it's like, hey, this is what we do. This is the dream outcome you'll get with us. Your action item team, spoiler alert, write down the dream outcome. Remembering that you don't sell the ticket, you sell the destination. They don't want the coaching, they don't want the agency, they don't want the consulting. They want the thing that it gives them. How does their life change? Who do they become? What happens for them? While you're writing that down, let me tell you about Tony. Definitely, no one wakes up one day and wants to come and buy a funnel. Sometimes people think they want ads, but what Tony really wants is a predictable, consistent system for qualified leads to 2x the business. But even then, so what? And as Russell Brunson would say, there's 3 desires you're selling, right? Health, wealth, relationships. So for Tony, for the wealth component, it might be that he wants to have a big exit. They're doing 1 to 10 million, and usually they want to double or quadruple to have an exit in like the next 5 to 10 years. Or it might be relationships. He wants his wife and his kids to be proud of him. That's what we're really selling. Okay, we know who they are, where they are, their dream outcome. Now let's do the roadblocks. What's stopping them from buying from you? Now these can be real or they can be imagined, right? The goal of your marketing is that you need to show not just how you're better, but different to everything else. Not just how you're better, but also different. What I want you to write down is, what else could they try? So what are the true competitive alternatives that they could try if they didn't go ahead with you? For most of us, we just know all of our different competitors, but our true competitive alternatives are usually inertia, so doing nothing, right? Or DIY or the old school way. That's typically our biggest competitors. The next thing I want you to note down is what else have they tried? So the problem is, if our offer and our messaging sounds like what they've already tried and failed with, why would they give you money? It needs to sound different. Not just better, different to what they've already tried. Remember, don't do a shot every time I say inputs and outputs, but inputs and outputs. So the way that we do this in our marketing for ourselves and for our clients is we use comparison tables. So your landing page is your digital appointment setter. It's your salesperson, right? It needs to go through all of these things. So we'll use a comparison table, and then we'll compare their top 5 to 7 buying decision criteria, and then show them not just how we're better, but also how we're different. We'll also create a proprietary system. You would all have a proprietary system. Just name it something cool. That's it. You've got like 3 to 5 steps, you give it a cool name, and now you've got a proven, repeatable system. It will set you apart. It will make you different from what they've tried before. Next action item. I'm really giving you a lot of homework. I can see some people writing, that's good. Your next action item is the false beliefs and objections. So what are the roadblocks, and how do we remove them? A great way to do that in your marketing is by using proof and FAQs. I never actually put FAQs like the real questions because they don't know what questions to ask. So I put the questions like the sales questions, right? The things that are going to stop them from buying. And a lot of users often scroll down to their FAQs as the first thing that they do on the page. While you guys are writing this down, I'll talk about Tony again. So for Tony, our true competitive alternatives is inertia or DIY. So the thing with Tony is though, he doesn't want to do it. He doesn't have the time, right? Then the other competitive alternative could be agencies, but for our right, Tony, they've usually worked with 3 to 5 other agencies and been, quote, burnt to a crisp. So they've kind of done that already. But their false belief, the thing that we overcome in our marketing and our content, is their false beliefs is that they just need more ads to scale. But you can't scale traffic that doesn't convert. And that's the problem most people have, is they haven't worked on how to convert the post-click experience. Okay, cool. So we've got our initial ideas down. Everyone got like a name at least of their dream client? Yeah, there's some half arms, alrighty. Okay, cool. A few arms going up randomly. I actually can't see much. Okay, excellent. But the problem is, it can feel really hard. Yeah, nothing's more humbling than doing your own marketing. because you have the curse of knowledge. You can drop me into any business and I am like a wizard. Make me write my own VSL and I am crying and breaking shit. I hate it, but I love doing other people's marketing. The reason why is very hard to read the label from inside the bottle. So what do? You can't just come up with all of this stuff all of the time, right? This is where we use our rapid research systems. Let's get into it. Now, hopefully we all know how important research is, and Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and Tony Robbins, they're not winging it. Success leaves clues, right? They're not winging it. They're not like, I think it's this guy. I wanted some Mutant Johns. No, they're spending hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to figure out who their target market is and to get those insights. But I don't have the budget of Mr. Bezos, and probably neither do you. So I'm going to give you 3 ways that you can uncover and read the minds of who your target market is totally for free, and you can do it today. Number 1, ask them. Surveys. Every single client, we do a PX survey insight. Now, I could talk about that for 30 minutes, but spoiler alert, I've put my whole system into that gift for you. So don't worry, we're going to get into that. But the whole point of surveys is to get conversion insights. If we want to clone more Tonys, we have to know how Tony thinks and the language that he uses. So we incentivize them, ethically bribe them to do it, and we use a tool like SurveyMonkey or equivalent. Okay. Number 2 is you want to read their journals. Don't break into their house, that's bad. But people are going onto the internet and just literally saying everything that's on their mind. It's insane, it's like a sickness. One of the best places to do that is Reddit, because it's totally anonymous. So people really don't hold back. With our clients, we look at not just the subreddits, but the real aha moment comes from how they explain things to each other, right, in the comments. How do they give each other the aha moments? Because you have the curse of knowledge. You're too educated and you can't speak the target market's language. So if you see how they talk to each other, it's a huge unlock. I love Reddit. Number 2, the second largest search engine in the world, YouTube. How can you use this? You can just type in your niche or the problem or the dream outcome, you know all of that now, and see the suggested things. Number 2, you can see the top videos. And number 3, go read the comments. People, just put your marketing on easy mode. People tell you what you need to know. And number 3 is Amazon Books, is another example. So since we're a neurosurgeon, we went and read all of the reviews of these books, and we saw patterns. The same before state, the same desired outcome, the same dream outcome, the same what did they try before. And then we use those inputs and outputs into our marketing machine. And thirdly, you want to interview people who know them. Those are the rapid research systems. Okay, so now it's been a fast 30 minutes, but you should know who they are, who is your dream Tony, or your brain's whirring. I've inceptioned you now. Maybe you'll think about me 2 a.m. in a cold sweat and start writing down who your Tony is. You know where they are, the dream outcome, and the roadblocks. You know that this is your marketing cloning machine. Whether it's for content or ads, it doesn't matter. You go through research, strategy, execution, and then you ship, you analyze, and you adjust. That's it. Those are the core things. We need to understand who your Tony is. Okay, final question. Let's see if you pass. Hands up if what you sell actually helps people. Yeah, if your hand doesn't go up, you have to leave. Not to be rude, but get out. Okay, good. That means you have an ethical and moral obligation to help more of your Tonys. Every day when I wake up, if I don't find more Tonys to help so that they don't work with crappy agencies again, that they're not stuck in their business, I can expand my impact, right? That's the whole point. I can help them help more people. This is the key to unlock that. If you can figure out who your Tony is and how they think and how they talk, I've just given you the key to help more of your Tonys. And it is your responsibility, if you help them, to find more of them every single day. Now, I'm going to give you something to help, and it's what I call the endless leads gift. So because I'm really good at tech, you can scan my QR code, or if it doesn't work, which also happens, you can go to persuasionexperience.com/adcon. What's in there for you? I've given you our whole PX survey insights process, all of our AI research prompts, all of my above the fold templates, 5 offer templates, my best landing page swipe file from our company for our clients, 3 real-world landing page case study videos, and a palm tree in a pear tree. Now that was an intrusive thought. The lead machine system, the full AdCon slide deck, and one person that joins will get a 30-minute private consulting with me, and I promise I'll let you talk more than what I've done today. So team, that's it. Uncover your Tonys, double your business. I'd love to connect. I'll be around. Have a great day.